When it comes to dealing with an injury, should you apply heat or should you apply cold? This is a question that has a little bit of complexity, so give me a few minutes so we can clarify. Hi, I'm Coach Robb. At the time of this recording, I'm going on 40 years as a human performance coach, and I get asked this question quite often when you're dealing with injuries. When do you apply hot? When do you apply cold? Should you apply one or the other? When and how should you combine the two temperature changes? Well, I want to back the train up just a little bit, and I want to clarify what is an injury. And this is very, very important because when you're exercising on a regular basis, daily soreness, inflammation, and swelling, tearing down the muscle tissue, your body needs to go through its natural process of dealing with the tear down of muscle tissue, dealing with inflammation and swelling. So when you're training on a regular basis, first and foremost, you need to be able to ascertain the difference between an injury and just residual soreness associated with exercise. One of the things that we always try to caution our clients with is please make sure that you don't use ibuprofen, anything that's going to offset the inflammatory process that's associated with healing, because believe it or not, and it's beyond the scope of this video, when you let your body go through its natural healing process and you provide it sufficient amount of food, sleep, and water, you'll actually heal quicker and you'll become stronger in a shorter period of time. You'll have better endurance in a shorter period of time. When we come back and we look at the subject of an actual injury, you've diagnosed it and you've realized, I've tweaked something. It's hot to the touch. It's red. This is where you want to start by only putting cold on. Now, please stick with me here. It's very important that you start with the cold because if you have an impact type of an injury, if you've strained or you've torn something, what we're trying to do is keep the inflammatory process from getting so big that it actually starts to fill up the associated joint. I know it may sound crazy, but the way your body's designed is it's always going to try to fill up the closest joint with fluid to limit range of motions. It's a self-defense mechanism to keep you from hurting yourself. So we always say in the first 72 hours, you only use cold, and that's to control the swelling and the inflammation. A little bit deeper, but I think it's worth going through here today, is the cold is also going to help with the pain management. When you're in a mode of pain, ice and or direct pressure are the two things that will eliminate it. Because you're dealing with inflammation and swelling, you're not going to want to press on it. You're going to want to use the cold. It turns off the nerve endings and it makes the pain more tolerable. When we are looking at the subject of cold, how long should you do it? Well, how much time do you have? So let's say you've got 30 minutes. Put the cold on for 5 minutes. Take it off and do not introduce heat. You can put a towel on it. You can put it in direct sunlight. Let it warm up naturally. So you want to match 1 to 1. 5 minutes of cold, 5 minutes of direct sunlight or a dry towel. The most important part is remembering you only want to put cold on, and because I want to elaborate on what we just talked about. If you put heat on in the first 72 hours, you're only going to engorge the area. The heat creates vasodilation. It's going to make your pain level actually higher. Now that we've gotten through the first 72 hours, how do we introduce heat, i.e. complement it to the cold in the right manner? Remember we said we want you to be doing a 1-to-1 ratio. So if it's in the first 72 hours, you do ice for 5 minutes, then you let it air dry for 5 minutes. Well, now that we're past that 72-hour window, right, you want to go 5 minutes of cold, and then you want to go 5 minutes of moist heat, with the key word being moist heat. If you put dry heat on the skin, it will just make you sweat. The moisture will actually permeate into the muscle tissue, and this is where, after the 72-hour mark, we want dilation. The first 72 hours, we do not want dilation because it makes the pain level go up. After 72 hours, the cold decreases the inflammation and it decreases the pain by turning off the pain cycle. When we move over to the idea of introducing moist heat, we purposely do want vasodilation because that brings in the nutrient-rich blood, which actually speeds up the recovery process. When you're past that 72-hour window, the 1-to-1 ratio of cold to moist heat to cold, and you do that as often as you can. Remember, use the time that you've got. If you've only got 10 minutes, go 1 minute on, 1 minute off. Do that 5 times. You can go 2 minutes of 5 and 5. The key is to always try to end on a 1-to-1 ratio, most importantly. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it informative. The number of people who are subscribed to the channel has gone up exponentially. So if you haven't liked, subscribed, and turned on the notifications, I would encourage you to do so. And the reason being is we put a video up every day here on YouTube answering your questions. If you happen to have a question, please send it to me. contact@coachrob.com. Like I said, I can't thank you enough for the amount of people who have subscribed. The questions continue to escalate, and we're going to continue to put these out each and every day for you. So thanks again for watching, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.